5 tips to make you a better acoustic guitar player right now. Well, hey everybody, this is Nate coming to you from Palen Music down here in Springfield, Missouri. And I got 5 acoustic guitar tips, hopefully make playing the guitar a more pleasurable experience and you a better player and folks want to play with you. So here it comes. Number 1, rhythm and dynamics. Lord have mercy. Here's what I mean. If you're playing in a band and you're playing acoustic guitar, whether you're a lead singer or you're just playing acoustic guitar in that band, if there's a drummer or a cajon player or somebody that is accenting 2 and 4, it'd be super duper neat and cool and you would love it, and so would your audience if you jumped right in there. Acoustic guitar from a frequency standpoint kind of lives with the snare drum. Here's what I mean. So if you're playing like a G chord, right? Let's just say it's a medium tempo groove. So I am palm muting the strings right now with my right hand and a little bit with my left. My middle finger here is kind of killing the A string, and I'm just sort of purposely with my right hand hitting this low E, and then on the beats 2 and 4, and I'm just sort of imagining a snare like, and that's what I'm doing. Now, if I'm singing over this, or talking to you fine folks here, I don't want to play as loud as I possibly can, right? Because what happens is it gets drowned out. And so many times, like just a quick, easy, super duper tweak that you can do right now is just use more dynamic spectrum, right? So if you're busking on the side of the road, or if you're playing on the platform at church on Sunday morning, or in a nightclub somewhere, wherever, a quick little tweak, just to super duper do. Get with the drummer. If you don't have a drummer, it'll feel like you do. If you're, and that way when you open it up, it means more. All right, tip number 2. When I'm playing acoustic guitar, I like to have as many open strings as possible. And sometimes by doing that, you have to sacrifice some of the notes that normally, like by the book, belong to the chord, right? Okay, so here's what I mean. So if I'm playing a B, the key of B is so great on acoustic guitar. I love it. In fact, there's a great Chet Atkins, Tommy Emmanuel song called Be or Not to Be or something like that. It's off The Day the Fingerpickers Took Over the World. Oh, beautiful song, in the key of B. Anyway, so it better be after I've just said this on the interwebs. Anyway, moving on. So when I'm playing B, instead of doing this classic A bar chord like this, what I like to do is think of this as a, just good old Green Day power chord, right? Index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. I'm not playing the E string at all. Ring finger on the 4th fret of the D. Pinky finger on the 4th fret of the G. B string open. And then you can also have the E string open. That creates a B sus4. More on that later. But what I like to do, instead of having that open E, I like to put my middle finger on the 2nd fret on the high E, that F sharp. Instantly, it's the beautiful, perfect amount of jangle. But it's sort of gender neutral, true, because it's not major or minor. It's just B5. Now, here's another cool thing. Same spot. I'm going to leave these guys right here, and I'm going to take this middle finger and put this on the 4th fret, hitting that G sharp, and then I'm going to leave my index finger up here on that F sharp. Listen to this. Then now I'm going to go back to the F sharp, and what I'm going to do, again, leaving these fingers right here, and I'm going to go ahead and still hit that F sharp on the high E like I was doing a second ago. And then take this finger off of the 2nd fret of the low E, and I'm making an E chord there, right? Well, here's what's happening. This B chord is just a B5, right? This G sharp, it's a G sharp minor with this F sharp in the bass, or on the melody string up here. So it's like a G sharp minor 7, right? And then this F sharp, it's like an F sharp sus2. I know I'm getting all theory, but stay with me. And then this E, it's like an E add 9, and I've got 2 F sharps here, right? So there's actually notes missing in several of those chords, but your ear doesn't care because the open strings Slidey McSliderton right there. But you ought to just pause this right now. Y'all just pause it and see if you can practice that and do that. I promise you, there's a lot of songs that have 1, 6, 5, 4 in it. That's a guarantee from your Uncle Nate. Next tip. Okay, the next tip is don't be a capo snob. I was a capo snob forever. Here's what I mean. A capo snob is someone who absolutely just refuses to use a capo. A capo is an awesome tool. I've got this little G7 here. And, to illustrate this point, I was playing a song one time, doing a recording, and I had to do this little activity a lot in this song. And I remember the guy going, don't you want to use a capo? And I was just like, no, I've got it. My fingers are made of titanium. Well, guess what? They're not. And then somewhere about fourth take, I just can't physically do it anymore, right? So he comes around from behind the booth, and the engineer does, and slaps a capo on there. And I got to tell you, in that moment, and I'll never forget this, I learned that not only is it easier to play in some situations, but there's also a tremendous amount of beauty. I mean, think about Here Comes the Sun without being capoed up, right? I mean, there's a lot of chord voicings that just sound better with capo. There's a tenderness and a kind of an articulation that comes from using capo. So embrace the capo. It's not clamping your style. It's allowing you to move on up. Next tip. Okay, so tip number 4, this kind of follows suit with the capo thing we just talked about. Don't play in the same spot as the other guitar player. Here's what I mean. If the other guitar player in the band, regardless if they're acoustic or electric, is playing, if you come and you do the exact same thing, the exact same A sus2, the exact same place on the neck, it creates a dynamic wall that it's going to be very difficult for you to build a higher wall as the song progresses. And we want to have some sort of sense of storytelling and dynamic range in the song, right? And so oftentimes, especially in the realm of acoustic guitar, you see two guys playing together or two folks playing and they're playing the same stuff everywhere. It's the same. So the best way to break out of that, use a capo. If somebody's playing, in A and they're playing, just these basic chords, you can capo up to 2. Here I am capo snobbing, but you know what I mean. And then you go ahead and you play the same stuff just up in the other spot, right? And transposed to the key that the capo allows, right? Or if you don't want to do that, if one guy's playing acoustic and you're playing electric, there's a lot of times where I'll just sit on so think of this shape here as a D shape, right? Good old-fashioned D chord, and I'm going to move this up all the way here to where my ring finger is on the 9th fret, okay? And then what I'm going to do is while that D shape is still kind of in my mind, I'm going to bar right here at the 7th fret, and then I'm going to take these leftover digits and put my pinky on the B string of the 10th fret and my ring finger on the 9th fret of the G, with this bar starting on the D going all the way to the E. A lot of information. You can pause it and just look at this. Boink. Okay, so this shape right here, what's cool about this is like an A5 power chord, but it's got a B in it. So it's an A and an E and a B. Very ambiguous, right? If I play this shape, already you're thinking U2. And if you're not thinking U2, you just haven't listened to enough U2, which, by the way, they're brilliant. I know that little controversial hot take there, but I love U2, right? And then if the other guy is playing basic A major stuff, right? Test me in this. Try this. Pause this. Try it out on yourself. Get you a looper out, or even just go YouTube A major backing track, and then just you want to find some sort of rhythmic pattern that you can keep consistent over all those chords. And what you end up doing is creating a texture that sets up that part of the song as its own thing. So then when you get to the big guns blazing, kicking the door down section where we're both doing the same thing, that now means so much more. So don't play the same thing in the same spot all the time as the other guitar player. All right, tip number 5 is a way to improve your right hand and rhythm technique. And I am here to tell you, the biggest area of opportunity in my life to improve as a guitar player is in rhythm. Rhythm is one of those things that the better you get at it, everything else falls into place. I mean, shoot, you could play like all the wrong notes at all the right time, and you might get accused of playing jazz, you know what I'm saying? So, jazzers, don't be offended. I think that's funny. Anyway. Rhythm technique, right hand. What am I doing when I'm holding a pick? Well, I'm doing kind of a hybrid version of what's called Travis picking. Merle Travis was a guy that used a thumb pick, and a lot of guitar players have adopted this hybrid version where you're holding the pick just as you would, and this is the way I hold the pick here, and then my middle finger here gets engaged quite a bit. And here's what I mean. I started doing this just by simply doing just a pick, pluck. I'm on the high E here. Pick, pluck, like that. And then when I got to where I could do that pretty comfortably, then I added another string, and then it became pick, pick, pluck, pick, pick, pluck, which is actually birthed out of a banjo roll. And so when you move to 3 strings, and you're doing a sweep through the G, the B, and then plucking on the E, it starts to sound like a little bit of the banjo roll, right? And then if I do this, this will be fun at a party. I'm doing my index finger on the 3rd fret of the B and the E, and then your pinky is going to start on the 6th fret of the G and then slide up to the 7th fret of the G. So you get, which sounds like a banjo kind of thing, right? Right? And I'm just doing that sweep, sweep, pluck, sweep, sweep, pluck. And furthermore, if you will start to just play through, like, just find you a backing track on YouTube, like an A blues or something. And you'd be surprised how many cool different EQ options exist and the tonal variance that's just available with using your pick and your middle finger. Try it out. Hey, I hope you had fun watching this. We had fun making it. You know what? This town is big enough for the two of us. Hit that subscribe button. We'll do this again. We'll see you soon.